Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make cake toppers with my Cricut. We're going to be doing some designs in Cricut Design Space, so I'll show you how to do this. The first cake topper that we're going to make is just a simple single layer cake topper. So for this we're going to use our text. We're going to go ahead and do a Milestone cake topper since these are pretty popular. Let's go ahead and write our text. We're doing 40 and fabulous. Okay, once you have your text written, go ahead and find the font you want. This is actually already set on the font I want. I must have just used this, but you can change your font here. I recommend using something kind of bold. The cake toppers are going to hold together a little bit better with the bold font. Okay, so once you have your font set, we're going to go ahead and start putting this together. When you make cake toppers, when they are just a word, you do need each of the pieces to touch. So right here, the F is not attached and the B and the U are not attached. So we need to ungroup these. And now we can just slide this over so it's attached. And these are all attached, so we will slide these over together. And now it's good to go. Okay, we're going to add our 40. Whenever I have a number for a cake topper, I usually like to make it a lot bigger than the rest of the text. I meant to grab all of those so I can slide it down. Okay, so we're going to make our 40 pretty big. And we also want to ungroup this because I want the 4 and the 0 to touch. Just the more pieces that touch, the sturdier your cake topper is going to be. So we're going to have those touch, but we're also going to have them touch with the B and the L in fabulous. And we're going to add our and sign here. We'll have this touch with a few different ones. I do want it to touch with the 0 as well, just to make it a lot more sturdy. Move that up. Let's see. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Once you're happy with your design and you're ready to go ahead and select everything and weld it. You do not want to use attach for this because if you use attach, it's going to cut in between each of these pieces around the lines of the letters and you're just going to have a bunch of pieces. So you really need to weld your design for this so it's all one image. Okay, so this is ready to cut, but I want to show you how you could add a color to it if you wanted 40 to be a different color. So right now I'm just going to undo the weld. There's no way to unweld once you've welded your images, so you have to hit the back button. Alright, so we are going to turn 40 into a different color. So we're just going to select those and we're just going to copy and paste them. And I am going to weld those together and change the color. There we go, select it. Let's move that aside, and we want to weld all of this back together. Okay, so now it'll cut. Let's place that on top. So now we're going to have two different cuts to make with our Cricut, and we'll be able to place this 4-0 on top and glue it on top to add a different color. It can be really fun to add different colors, although it looks just as pretty with one color. Before we cut this, we do want to resize it. Typically for cake toppers, if it's a horizontal cake topper, I'll make it about the same size as the cake. So if it's like an 8-inch round cake, I'll make it 8 inches. But since this one's a little more square, I'm going to make it a little smaller. So for an 8-inch round cake, I'm going to make this 7 inches. And we are ready to cut. Let's go to make it. And guys, because this is just a cardstock, we're cutting on cardstock, you don't need to do any mirroring, anything fancy, it's just ready to go. Now I'm just cutting my glitter cardstock. Since my mat is not as sticky as it needs to be, I went ahead and taped it down to make sure that it doesn't slide. When using a glitter cardstock, I usually like to turn the dial up to poster board or add more pressure for cutting, just to make sure it cuts all the way through. You really want some clean lines, but you can play with the settings and see what setting you like best. We're going to just take out all these little pieces. They should just pop out really easily. You should have a nice clean line. If you don't, then you need to adjust your pressure for cutting it higher. This is why I like to do the poster board because it always gives me a nice clean cut on these glitter cardstock papers. I mean, this looks great. It's going to stand up really well with your cake toppers, and the best part is, I mean, it looks great on both sides. So again, I'll leave a link to this paper in the description in case you guys want to get this paper as well. All right, now let's add some color to our design. All right, guys, now we have both of our pieces cut out. We have 40 and Fabulous, and we are just going to glue this right on top to give it a little extra color. It's so pretty. Different types of sticks I like to use. There's just these little cake pop sticks, or you can use like wooden skewers. I'll just go ahead and leave the links to all of this stuff in the description. So if you want to use any of the cardstock I've used or want to know what to use, just check out the description. I also will link to my blog post, you know, in case you want to go back over any of these steps without having to watch the video. So now we're just going to glue this on the back. I like to make sure I can glue it a little higher up. It's going to be a little sturdier, so I'm just going to add a drop of glue here since it's going to run across here. Let me get... And then some up here. You can use hot glue for this. You can use, or just like, you know, a crafting glue. Either one's really going to work. And you know, they do have longer popsicle sticks if you like it to stand up really tall, or you can glue it a little lower. It just depends. It's all personal preference. We're going to let that dry, but look at it. It's fabulous. Just totally fabulous. For this next cake topper, we're going to do a layered cake topper. We're just going to do like a happy birthday. So we're going to write our text. I already chose my font before setting this up, so we don't have to change our font. But again, you want something that's nice and thick and bold. Now for this one, you don't necessarily have to have your words touching because we are going to have a background. But if your words are not touching, this means you will have to glue each individual letter onto the background. Otherwise, you can use like adhesive vinyl and use transfer tape to transfer it over. So whichever way you prefer. I want to center these together, so we're going to just align, center horizontally. And I want to bring them a little closer. I also want the letters just a little closer together. So we're going to adjust our letter space a little bit. Right here. I don't want to bring them too close. That's probably good. And let's make these ones match. I'm actually going to center them again now that I did that in case it changed anything. Okay. So now to add our background, we're just going to use the offset tool. So just click on offset and you're going to be able to drag this, which will let you see how far out this goes. I want to make sure it completely covers each letter and has each letter attached. So this is only going to be one piece. So I want to go far enough out for that, but I am going to be doing multiple layers because it's going to look really cool. So you don't need to go too far out. So we're just going to, I think that looks good right there. And we're just going to change the color on this so we can see it a little bit better. And now we're going to actually add another offset. So go back to your offset and you'll be able to drag it. This one I'm going to make a little smaller so we can do kind of different dimensions and just apply. Now that it's done, let's just pick a color for this one. And then we're actually going to do one more offset. You don't need to do this many. It's just going to look really cool, really pretty, you know. Let's click on that outer green one. Nope. There we go. Alright, offset, and this one I'm going to make a little bit larger. We're going to kind of really bring everything together with this one. And you can change it to be more edgy. This is a rounded font, so you're not going to really see the edgy or more rounded. But play around with those, see which one you like, play around with the distance, see what you like. Obviously, you don't want to do minus unless you're trying to make it smaller, but... And once you like it, just apply. And we'll just get another color here. And you can kind of change the colors to see how it's going to look when you have it printed and what colors you want everything to be. You know, but you don't have to. Now, if you are going to do adhesive vinyl and you want Happy Birthday to all be on one layer so it's really easy to transfer over, make sure that you take those and you... This time you can weld or attach since none of the letters are together. It's not going to make a difference. I'm just going to go ahead and weld them. And now we have our design ready to go. We're going to be cutting, I think, yep, 4 different layers. Once you're done cutting this, you can now start to assemble it. all you need is a crafting glue. Just glue each layer on top of each other and then each letter. And then while it dries, I usually put something hard on top of it like a book. That way it dries nice and flat. And once it's dry, just add your cake topper stick. And you got a cake topper that's ready to go. For this last cake topper, we're going to create it out of existing images. This can be fun to do. If you have Cricut Access, there's a lot of images that you can choose from to use within here. And then, keep in mind, if you were to use the sunflower, you need to ungroup it and move all of the pieces so that they touch. But you can combine some of these pictures with a cake topper. I don't have Cricut Access because I like to make my own images, so I'm just going to use an image that I have on my blog. I'll leave the link down here in case you guys want to do this one. This one works really good with cupcake toppers. It's this rainbow graphic that I have. I've already got it uploaded, so let's go ahead and add it to our canvas. Now, before we edit this, I'm just curious, like, who likes these videos? Typically, I just do my tutorials on my blog, but I decided to see if the videos are helpful. So if you guys like the videos and you guys want to see me keep doing the videos, make sure to like this video and subscribe. If I see that you guys like it, I'll keep creating more video tutorials. Okay, so for this one, this is ready to go. It is a layered file, because as you see, as you unlayer each one of these, you're going to have this bottom layer that everything attaches to. If this bottom layer isn't here, it's not going to work. But in case you get an image where that bottom layer isn't there, I'm going to show you what you can do. Let's ungroup these, and I'm going to get rid of this bottom layer. Alright, so if you upload an image and it's just individual pieces and it's not layered, but you want to use it as a cupcake topper, all you have to do is take this, go ahead and copy it and paste it. Or you can hit the duplicate button. I just use the shortcut keys. Alright, we're going to leave that one there. Now this one we're just going to take and we're going to weld it all together. So now we have a base piece. Let me drag it to the bottom so that this now is a layered image. I do want to change the color because I'm going to cut this a little bit different. That'll work. Alright, so I don't really want to sit here and glue all these different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these two and weld them together. And then I'm going to weld these two together. I'm just going to be sitting there forever gluing, so we're going to make it a little simpler. Okay. Actually, I want this to cut on a different piece than the heart cloud, so we do want to change the color. That way they all cut on different pieces. So now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors, which is better than when we had all the different rainbow colors. Okay. Oops, I meant to grab all of them. I'm just going to attach these right now. No, I'm not. I forgot attaching will change the colors. I meant I'm going to group these. Now you see the difference between attach and group. We're going to group these just so that I can easily move it all together. Alright. I want to add a name for this. Let's go with Abigail. She does have a birthday coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and use a script font. Mainly because I don't want to piece each individual layer. Oh wait, that one's... And because script fonts look really fun. I really like this Hello font. It's a really fun one. And we're going to add her name to the clouds. So that actually looks like a pretty good size. It doesn't matter if it's perfect on here because when you cut and paste it, you'll paste it where you like it. But I just want to make sure that it is going to work right. Okay. I do want these to touch, so that way it's just one piece. I know I'll have to attach the individual dots. But I just don't want to do a lot of cutting and gluing, so... Okay, let's move it over. Now, if you want the dots to also touch right here, what you're going to do is just go right here, and we're going to take like a circle, and we're just going to make it slightly bigger than what that dot is. Okay, and now I need to put that over the eye. Is that the right eye? Nope, that's the other eye. Put it over the eye, and we're just going to select them both, and we're going to slice it. Did I hit slice? Alright, so now we have all these random pieces. I'm going to take that out, and now we have our sliced result right here and right here, so we really only need one of those. So now we can move it, and we can actually bring it to where it touches right here. So that way it all prints, like cuts together, and you don't have to worry about piecing it all together. And I'll go ahead and do the same for this one. It's really a personal preference how you want to do this, but if you are just doing a single word, you will have to make sure everything is pieced together. And this goes with this eye. Let's take those. We're going to slice. Let's get rid of all these layers we don't need. And we're just going to bring that down. I'm going to kind of make that the same height. You can zoom in to make it a little easier to control, like where these little pieces go. Oh, and see, I want to attach that a little more. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Again, you could add an outline like we did before, an offset to this, but I don't think it's needed with all the colors already going on in this. Another thing you can do, okay, is you can add the age. Let's just do 10, because Abigail is turning 10. You know, choose your font. It's up to you, because you will be gluing these onto your rainbow. So it's up to you if you want these to attach or if you just want to glue them separate. I'll just leave them separate. And I like the way this is looking. And so we're just going to select all of them. Somehow I keep doing that. And we're going to resize it. I'm just going to do this one 7 inches. Since we've done them all 7 inches, we'll keep them all the same size. And we have not grouped or welded our name together, so I'm going to click on all these pieces, and it can be easier to click on them in the menu over here. That way I don't accidentally click on like the cloud or anything. Alright, we do need to weld those together. It is not going to cut properly if they are not welded together. Okay, now we are ready to make this. Just glue and layer your pieces together, then add your stick, and you're done. If you have any questions about making cake toppers, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer you guys there. I've also left links for the products I recommend for making cake toppers in the description. You'll also find a link to this tutorial on my blog. If you haven't been to my blog, it's svgnation.com. I have a growing library of free SVG files. I'm up to over 400 right now, so make sure to check them out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe.